Boss, back here on the Bossman show with Cal Poly Mustangs head coach John Smith out of the Big West Conference. Coach Smith, good to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, JR?
Coach, I can't complain, man. Enjoying my going on my 8-month vacation, coach. So I'm trying to make the best of it.
I hear you. I hear you, man. Tough times, but we'll all get through it.
Yes, indeed. Well, coach, let me take you back to March 11th, which was my birthday, when everything shut down in the NBA and college basketball started to shut down. So where were your team at that point, March 11th, and how did you manage going from being on campus to spring break to not seeing you guys anymore, then being home virtual? So how was that transition for you and your staff, coach?
First of all, my birthday is March 12th, so you know, uh, shout out to both of us.
Yes,
But
Pisces.
during that time, yes, sir, yes, sir. During that time, I was actually out recruiting because our season ended abruptly, the last game of conference, and so I was down going to see our incoming freshman who was playing in the state tournament game, and I knew something was brewing that night, with the Jazz game and that being canceled. So immediately it made me realize that we're about to go through something different, and our staff has to be prepared for it. So I called our coaches and tried to get them to understand that, start preparing. We got to do something differently. It looks like they're going to shut down a lot of things. And, so we just started preparing for, how we're going to recruit moving forward virtually and just how we're going to meet with guys, but no one knew what was going to happen. But it was a shock.
And I'm pretty sure, Coach, your academic advisor played a big role because guys going from being on campus to being virtual, and when they can go to class with their own devices from their homes, and if they miss class, coach can't make them run the day missing class. So how was that holding those guys accountable with being at home with the academic advisor being to themselves? I know they have Blackboard, but hey, it's good online assignment. They can't get punished for it right away.
You're right about that. But fortunately for us, we're at a high academic institution that requires that you bring in a certain type of student athlete that understands the importance of academics. So our guys really handled it. The transition was seamless. It was pretty good. But we tried to make sure that we met with them virtually every week. Still had our breakout meetings. Each coach has 4 guys that they have to monitor weekly. And they stayed on top of them via Zoom and make sure that their time management skills were on point, and they were turning in the assignments and were prepared for tests to come. And we have our best quarter academically, and some people may call it the coronavirus boost, but I'll take it any way we can get it.
Oh yeah, and that's with the APRs out here. That we know how that is. So any way you can get it, hey, it looks good for sure.
Right, no doubt.
Now, Coach, strength conditioning wise, Coach, I know the guys at home their own devices. Now, me, I have a hoop in my backyard here, but everybody, they bless his eye, they have a hoop in their backyard. So, how do you kind of keep the guys kind of in quasi basketball shape, doing things to kind of keep their bodies to a certain level and get some shots up if they could? So, how was that process trying to kind of get guys kind of shut down a little bit of work here and there?
Well, our strength and conditioning coach did a great job of showing some videos of how to do some band work and some body movement, some body exercises, and they did virtual workouts every week with our strength and conditioning coach as well. And she sent out some workouts for them and just checked in with them periodically. And then our coaches made some basketball workouts for the guys. What they can do and in the backyard if they have a hoop because everything was shut down. So we just tried to really harp on them and get them to understand that the importance of trying to stay in shape, because it's so quick to get out of basketball shape at that. So if you can't get in the gym, you can at least do some push-ups, sit-ups, and you can run outside on the track. So we tried to do a lot of that together as a team.
And Coach, how's it been seeing you guys back? Did how's it been trying to get those guys kind of get back in the rhythm? Because I know you don't want to go too hard with the guys and cause a knee, ankle, something nagging all year long. So how's it been since you got you guys back out there with you guys doing workouts?
Yeah, great point. Fortunately for us in California, we sit in an area that's really not impacted as much as Southern California and Northern California. We sit in the Central Coast. So we were able to get our guys back June 15th, where people, some other schools in California still haven't gotten their guys back yet. So, but to your point, we slowly brought them back in. They had to, for 2 weeks, just do individual workouts on their own. So we gave them some workouts. And then once we hit July 21st, we were able to do our summer access with the guys, but we still, stayed socially distant, three to a basket, and just did skill work. And, from a perfectionist, a coach, every coach at this level, they're trying to get their system in and they want it, perfected, but you can't right now with all the stipulations that you have to go through with the quarantine and everything and socially distanced. So in my mind, I just tried to make sure that we got our guys just a lot of shots and a lot of fundamental work, footwork, offensively and defensively. And, the system will take care of itself because everybody's going to be behind.
Most definitely. And coach, what's so crazy about it is that, hey, man, this period, who are the real ballers are, because you have to be a self-starter right now and motivate yourself right now because you don't have that push from coach to say, work out, get shots up. So now they don't have to get themselves together. You really see who really cares about love of the game and who doesn't.
Definitely. It definitely separates the good from the mediocre. And we always talk about in the recruiting process, intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Do I have to dangle a carrot in front of you extrinsically to get you motivated to chase after it? Or do you have it within yourself to go after it? And there's ways that we try and pick and pull during the conversation with a kid to see if they have that intrinsic motivation. And fortunately for us, we have a lot of guys that do. And they've done a great job so far.
Now, Coach, I know also with the pandemic, we had to deal with racial unrest in our country we got going on right now. So how do you address that with your team and trying to, get them to understand that, hey, we took off that Cal Poly gear. You're just a young black man in America. You're a young, it would be other country, wherever. You're just a young man. And if you don't handle it the right way or some may go against you and how to handle a situation when they come up. So how do you kind of go about your young men trying to teach them as we get this worked in our country with all the unrest we've had since the murders of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Brown Taylor, and others over the past few months?
Yeah, and to that point, like you and I know, as a head coach and a leader, it's your responsibility to understand that you have to put yourself in the shoes of a 18 to 22-year-old and think about it. When I was 18 to 22, that's when the Rodney King's beatings took place, and I was in California, and how angry I was and how I wanted to just react in an angrily way, and so when the George Floyd incident went down, the first thing I did was call my team and tried to talk to them and get what they were feeling. And, quite a few were pretty pissed off. And I tried to remind them that anger is one letter short of danger. And how you respond to it, can have some big ramifications. So you want to, take a deep breath, get all the information that you can and try and make sure that you are using your platform in the right way. We know that was murder. We know that was racially motivated. But how can we change it? And what is it doing? How can we make an impact in our community? George Floyd didn't get murdered in our community. So to protest and march and shut down, businesses during a pandemic where they're already hurting for economic status, that probably wouldn't be the right way to do it in our community. So I was trying to get our guys to understand that probably meet with some police officers and meet with some people in the higher ups in the city and try and get your voice heard, maybe at a park and get people to understand that there needs to be change. There needs to be police reform. There needs to be police education on the brutality and the racial profiling that goes on, and so forth and so on. So we've had a lot of discussions about that. And, fortunately for us, our guys have reacted in the right way. But there's been some things that transpired in our community that didn't go right. But all we can do is continue to educate these guys and get them to use their platform the right way and point out what's right.
And Coach, I felt the same thing, being in my 30s and you have a radio platform that stretches from, Chattanooga to Macon and beyond digitally. I decided to talk more about social issues as well, start a nonprofit. So I will tell you, Coach, I've lost 4 sponsors because of this, but it's okay. I don't need them anyway. But it's time to make a change, do what's right for my community. I'm 33 years old. I can relate to college kids and people older than me as well. So I'm right in that perfect zone and kind of make impact. So I'm trying my best with the radio show here and the nonprofit I've started, the 5%. So I'm trying, Coach. Now I hope other young men listen to this interview will do the same thing, because we can do it together, enact change, do it the right way, have a purpose, state what your mission is, and go from there, Coach.
Yeah, no doubt. We met with I personally met with a police officer, and I tried to get inside knowledge of what was going down, and he told me, he's like, Coach, I want you to get prepared. Those officers are going to get off in Kentucky, and the majority of the officers in Minnesota are going to get off because of policies and procedures. So we talked about how can that change and how can we make that change, and it starts with voting and understanding what's on the ballot to change these policies and procedures within each community and each police force. And it starts right there, because it's crazy that they want to, not hold these officers accountable for what they did.
Well, here in Atlanta, our DA was up for re-election, and because he charged the 2 officers to kill the young man Rayshard Brooks at the Wendy's in Southwest Atlanta, he lost his election because the police union, got together against him, so he lost the election too. So just see, when you do the right thing, even when you still lose, but at least he lost the election doing the right thing, charging the officer who killed that young man at Wendy's in Southwest Atlanta. So for me, even though you lost, you still won in my book.
Exactly, 100%.
Now, Coach, you talked about recruiting virtually. So how was it recruiting virtually? Were they able to kind of expand your reach, save a little bit on the budget as well, having to go out and travel, and also showing young men your campus virtually and doing virtual visits? So how was that, and is that something you keep doing going forward?
It was tough, and we're going to have to keep doing it moving forward, because NCAA has extended the dead period all the way until January, so we can't go out to recruit. So we just have to, get creative and create different Zooms and share our screen of our program, of how we do things, and how beautiful the campus is, and how connected we are to people that can help extend this from a 4-year degree to a 40-year degree. That's what we always try and harp on here. The ball's going to stop bouncing one day soon, and you got to align yourself with people that can help you continue to be a professional in some way, shape, or form. And this college does a great job of that, and I'm fortunate to be the head coach here. And we just try and paint that picture for whoever we talk to.
Now, Coach, how was it for you year one, man, and trying to, adjust to a new program, being a head coach now? Then COVID hits, going into year 2. So talk to us about your time so far at Cal Poly, how it was year 1, and going to year 2 with all the things you had to dealt with going into year 2. How's it been for you?
Anytime you take over a new program, there's going to be some hard times and some strife and adversity, and I knew that. I've been a part of a rebuild everywhere I've been the last 3 times. I took over a junior college program that in one of the toughest areas in California, and rebuilt that to a championship level. Then moved on to another junior college program that was down on their luck and only had 2 players, and rebuilt it. And by the year 4, we won the championship, the state championship. And then with our good friend, yours and I's, our good friend DJ Taylor, when we took over that, it was a mess. So I knew coming in here, it was going to be a challenge, and, as it was. And, but all you could do is continue to build and learn from those past 3 places that I was at, and try and continue to focus on 1 year at a time and one game at a time, one day at a time, and that's what we've been doing and just chipping away at it. And we feel that by year 3, we'll be where we need to be. We're getting there. We're young this year because we brought in 7 new guys and 6 of them are freshmen. So, there's going to be some more growing pains on top of the COVID-19. So, but I'm ready for it. I'm built for it.
Well, tell us about your new guys. We'll ask you about it. Kind of read my mind, Coach. Tell us about your newcomers, who you have coming into your roster, you know what I mean, that's going to help build this Cal Poly Mustang program up for you. Tell us about those great young men you brought in there.
Yeah, so, we try and recruit kids that come from winning programs because to win is hard at any level. And it takes a selfless mindset. And we have 2 kids from Etiwanda High School in Southern California that is probably one of the winningest high schools in Southern California in the area, and Brantley Stevenson are cut from a different cloth. And I think that they're going to be very special in this conference. Cameron Pierce is the point guard, and Etiwanda High School, mind you, has had 2 former point guards be in the NBA in Darren Collison and Jordan McLaughlin, and he's cut from that same cloth. And then Brantley Stevenson is a 6'4" combo guard that's just nasty. He doesn't care who's in front of him. He's going to try and attack you offensively and defensively. So we added those 2 guys, and then we added 2 guys from Mater Dei, which is one of the winningest programs in the nation, a 6'4" combo guard by the name of Aiden Prukop, and a 6'3" walk-on by the name of Ryan Evans that I think could be special. And then we have a 6'7" stretch 4-man from Utah by the name of Dyson Kohler. And he's built kind of like Charles Barkley, but he shoots it. And, he really works hard. I think we beat out Utah and BYU. So those are some big programs to get to steal a kid out of Utah from. So that tells you the talent level that he has. And then we got a 6'7" and a half combo guard from San Diego. And when I was at Fullerton, I was kind of recruiting him, not so much because he was 6'1" and scrawny and skinny. I knew his head coach. He was like, "Coach, he's talented." I was like, "But he's 6'1" and a $105 going into his junior year." Well, by the end of his senior year, he grew 6 inches, kind of like Anthony.
AD.
Yeah. And he's 6'7" and a half with the same skill set, and I think he has a chance to be very, very, very good. And then we topped it off with a grad transfer from University of Iowa by the name of Riley Teal, a 6'7" athletic post guy. But, he's someone that's gone every single day the last 4 years against Luka Garza, who I feel was one of the best posts in the country. We played them last year. And so to add that experience to that youth, I think helps us tremendously for year 2.
Now, Coach, non-conference games-wise, they start on the 25th, so you're losing 2 weeks of where you can get those money games. So how's it been trying to get the schedule done, trying to play 20 games in the conference or whatever, 18 in the conference, plus the non-conference games and get your money in that you need to raise it for the school. So how's that been so far? I know it's been probably, a whirlwind for you.
Yeah, it has been. But fortunately for us, 2 out of 3 of our Monday games fell after November 25th. So those stayed on our schedule. And then we had an MTE, a multiple team event that started November 25th. So we're able to keep that. And that's part of the Monday games as well. So for us, we were fortunate of how the start date hit. We still have to find 2 more games. And we're in negotiations with a couple different schools. So we're better off than a lot of other teams, I should say, knock on wood, until we get those contracts completely signed. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I saw some of them contracts, Coach. Them COVID clauses, those if it's fans, it's this number. If it's not, it's this. Coach, I feel bad for you guys, man. I told my Power 5 buddies, y'all are running a scheme, but I know why you do it, but it's not right.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. But they have the power. That's why they call it Power 5.
You got that right. I've told Josh Pastner, how about you play some of my friends? Oh, you say it's all about you? Yes, pretty much. I want to break my guy out
No
some
doubt.
time, man. You can do it, man. You do it for me.
Yeah.
He has last, but yeah.
And I got a Georgia kid on my team. So yeah, tell him to schedule us. We'll come back there.
Yeah, so I'm trying, man. I'm trying to be a broker here, coach. Now, that's what I got for you. You talk right about our guy, Coach Taylor, man. He told me about, the golf game you guys had, man. You golfing together. So
Oh man.
how was that golfing trip? And, tell me about his golf game. Between you, Sprinkle, and him, who's the best golfer? I want to know this, man.
Look here. I listened to your interview with him. I heard what he said. Now,
Yeah, respond to it. That's all I've got to add. Get on the record here.
But what he was saying, he was speaking the truth. Out of everybody, my game's the worst. I picked up the game kind of late, and I started getting pretty good, and then I blew up my knee about 8-9 years ago, and I stopped playing. And I could par a hole, and then the next hole I'm hitting like a snowman, 10 shots just to get there. But it's getting there. But it was just fun, just being out on the course, fellowshipping with someone that you grinded so hard for, and grinding together, and just appreciating each other's relationship and what we mean to each other. It was just great being around him. I didn't get a chance to go golfing with Sprinkle. Sprinkle's a natural. He's one of the best shooters that you ever seen on a basketball court, and he carries it over onto the golf course. His swing is just so smooth, but he just makes it look too easy. So I don't golf with Spring.
I feel you on that, man. Hey, look, I told Taylor, I'm a tennis man, but my golf swing is everything is going left. I'm gonna pull it across my body. I'm one of those swingers. I'm gonna hit it. It's gonna go left every time. It's going left.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
There's no left.
Same problem.
Yes, indeed. And now, last one I got for, how was the playing? I know he talked. I know you knew his stuff, and he knew. So how was playing him knowing that you know his stuff? And did the intel you have work when we beat him that one time?
You know what? And me and him always used to say this to our teams, like, you can know everything about the other person, but all that matters is how you respond once you get hit in the mouth. And although I knew everything that he was going to do, the guys that he had on his team, they're straight killers, and there's a reason why, like the games were high scoring, both of them. And we knew what we were going to do to each other, but you can have the best scout report, but when you have guys that just are about, that work, it makes it hard. And then, he changed up some of his sets a little bit. We were joking with each other on the golf course. I was like, hey, man, when you went zone, I was expecting you to do this, this, and this, because that's all we did when I was together. And then you pulled out a flare screen and had a few threes. I had to get out of zone in a hurry. He's like, what'd you expect? So, but it was fun because my son and I, we would just look down and wait for him to make a call, and then we'd bark out to our team to get in the proper position. So it was just a good chess match. And that's what coaching is about, is a chess match, and I loved it.
I'm looking forward to seeing it again this year, seeing how you guys, go at it. Because I know I'm neutral in it. I'm neutral, but I'm gonna enjoy the battle though. I'm neutral though. I like both of you.
Yeah. So I appreciate that, man. We split, man, and I'll tell you what, those games were fun to watch, fun to be a part of. We were just laughing the whole time.
Yes, indeed. Well, Coach Smith, good to catch up with you. I hope you and your wife stay safe out there, man. And I hope, you can bring your Georgia kid to Georgia. Hopefully we'll get some Tom Crean or Josh to do something for you.
Yeah, no doubt. And before he gets out of there, I guarantee you we will be in Georgia playing somebody. Georgia State, Georgia Tech, somebody. So once we do, I'll definitely catch up with you.
Yes, indeed, Coach. Hey, be safe, man. Talk to you real soon. I enjoyed it as always, man.
Same here, man. Take care.
All right, it's John Smith on the Bossman Show.